don't get me wrong. We've all done things that are wrong. I called the other side names a lot, okay? And sometimes when you're trying to win the middle, it helps. And Anna and I have had this conversation. But a lot of times, especially after you've lost the middle, it hurts.
I'm proud of you.
Right, and it drives people away. So we could all see what we did wrong and get to a better place. I hope Jill actually got there, and that she doesn't change her mind later super conveniently, because these things she's describing, I mean, I would just love for her, like all of it is bygones be bygones, if she just acknowledged, I did all of these things myself.
Oh, look at that. That's what they need. If you look at his face. But this is really interesting. Dude, do you see this? Like, I'm trying to figure out his mentality here, right? Like, you see that mentality that he has where like Cenk, he's saying like, oh, I need her to acknowledge that she did all these things, right? Like, what is that about? Where he's got this weird, like, what is his leftist grievance where if you're trying to, right, he's like so big tent, but you can't get in the tent unless you admit that you were like outside the tent or something, right? It's like so weird, their preoccupation, right? If she would just, she's got to submit. She must admit she was wrong. She must like come before us. Oh, fuck. All right, let's go. I want to see it.
Against other Democrats when Bernie was running. I would do things like public shaming, call outs, push outs, internal battles, internal drama, and claiming that the most progressive people in the country were sexist against Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. I
Come on, I mean, you can't write this piece and not acknowledge that it's like me writing a piece about, guys, no one should yell anymore online. I have to at least acknowledge that I'm patient zero in that.
100%.
Right?
Oh yeah, you're definitely patient zero.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's get to some of what she did say back in the day. And by the way, we're not just trying to like rehash like old dramas.
Dude, yeah, by the way, we're not just trying to rehash old drama, but here, allow us to go ahead and rehash everything this woman has said. It is physically impossible for them to let go of Grievance. They cannot let go of Grievance, dude. They are like grievance addicts. Here we go.
I actually want to give her a lot of credit for her evolution, because I think it takes a lot of strength to be able to come out and say, I messed up, you know? I mean, in this case, she's not specifically saying she messed up, but she's learned from the mistakes of the past in regard to how Democrats have behaved, and I think she knows that she's part of that. But if she has forgotten,
I'm not sure about that.
If she's forgotten, we're going to remind her. So we'll give you some examples. So in 2016, she argued that many young girls liked Bernie Sanders because, especially among the young, guy stuff is cool and enviable, whereas girl stuff is lame, uncool, and well, girly. In this primary, Sanders is the guy stuff, Clinton is the girl stuff.
She just made that up. No Bernie Sanders supporter said boy stuff is cool and girl stuff isn't cool. Literally no one said that.
We just wanted
totally fabricated, right?
Yeah, but that's like really what she was saying is she was a poetic way of saying that there was like some misogyny at play there, right? Right? I mean, it's not about the actual phrase, but there was definitely an element of misogyny in that primary. Okay, there was that was like capitalized on again and again and again.
Put a smear of sexism against Bernie and all of his supporters, because it was these, toxic internal battles that she's now decrying.
So she says young girls aren't dumb.
Dude, Cenk, right? Yeah, I know. It was an opinion and a vibe, but again, he's like, nobody said guy stuff. Nobody said girl stuff. But I tell you what, guys, have you noticed how whenever the concept of sexism or misogyny comes up, Cenk looks like he is having a little bit of a coronary, right? I mean, are we surprised that the guy who like rated celebrity camel toes and thought he was real cute in doing it. And a lot of the early TYT shit was pretty risque in that regard. But dude, he can't have a discussion about like sexism or misogyny. He certainly can't admit his own, like, you know what I mean? I mean, dude, don't get me wrong. I am fucking very liberal. I am a feminist, but I still sometimes get into a sexist thinking mode because of my programming, particularly my generation. We were heavily programmed with sexism. I catch myself all the time. I don't consider myself a bad person because I still grapple with sexism and misogyny that was programmed and dumped into me by the media, society, my father, right? All my guy friends when I was younger. I will unravel those threads till the end of time, probably. But he cannot have a discussion about sexism or misogyny. He cannot. It is like an all or nothing, right? And that's really peculiar. Okay, that's really peculiar because we all should be able to look at that shit. Okay, we should be able to look at our phobias and our isms and right, because we all grapple with it. We all do. It's like that shit. You don't just one day you're free from all of it. I mean, dude.
She also wrote this piece. Let's go to graphic 9 here. Why Bernie Sanders is wrong about women. I mean, okay. And along with countless other very similar columns and tweets. And then there was the comment about you, Cenk. So after Bernie
here we go.
Endorsed Cenk's congressional run in 2019, here's what she wrote. I'm tired of misogyny on the left. I'm tired of being told I am imagining misogyny on the left. I am tired of being told progressive values mean we have to overlook misogyny on the left. I am tired of gender equality apparently not being a progressive value. So what she was referring to there, at the time that Cenk made the decision to run for Congress, his old, like literally 20, 25-year-old blogs were,
INCEL
they
blog
came out. And he go ahead. You talk about
Let me address it. Okay, so first of all, Jill writing this op-ed is a little bit like Jake Tapper writing the book about how the Bidens lied to the American people about his age.
Okay, so now we're in the meat of it. All that other shit, but here's the real deal. Again, shall we reference what I said a few minutes ago about how Cenk cannot have the discussion about misogyny? He can't, he won't acknowledge the misogyny, right? He won't acknowledge the sexism in himself. He just will, nope, just can't look at it. He can't look at it.
Brother, you were right there, okay? Yeah. And you helped aid and abet that. It's like OJ writing the book, If I Did It, right? Like, no, you did do it, Jake, okay? And in this case, Jill, you did do it. Look at that quote. That quote that Anna just read to you, almost every part of it was fiction, okay? So first of all, my old blogs, there was some offensive stuff on some other matters, but on the, and I apologize for that because I was a knucklehead Republican back then, trying to be like a shock jock. And if like, oh, we're gonna go back 20 years to smear me, but really I'm not an important one, to smear Bernie by association, right? So, but on the gender stuff, it's not even true. There's the line about that they all hyped up, by the way, picked up by the alt-right. And
celebrity camel toe, anyone?
And then Hillary Clinton supporters were like, oh, the alt-right came up with this, we love it, right? And so, and what was it? I said the genes of women are poorly designed or something along those lines because they don't want to have sex with us enough. I was joking. If you read the piece, you see that I was kidding around about how I couldn't get laid on South Beach, which is hilarious, okay?
Dude, look at him. He like, what's funny about this is like, why can't he just have an honest conversation about it? About like his relationship with misogyny and sexism. I mean, we're men, we are programmed to buy into that shit. We are socialized with that shit. Like, he's so defensive about it, you know? And in fact, yeah, those blogs didn't come off as joking. I don't believe they indicate anything in there that says, oh yeah, I'm joking. But it's the tenor of this. Like, you know, like for example, I've talked about possibly running for Congress in 2028. You know, if you do that, right? You know, if you do that, they're coming after you, right? You know, if they do that, if you run for Congress, you elevate your identity like that, they are coming after you. They are going back 20 years. They're going to go back and find your goddamn elementary school teacher to dredge up some shit that you like, you know, like put your hand on Susie's behind or some shit like that. And part of being a candidate in that environment is you have to be able to walk in there and discuss that shit and not, you know, try to like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this. You can't really get self-righteous. I mean, you can brush it off, right? And you can, but you have to sort of lean into it and, you know, you can't get like, you know, when you get agitated like that, you're losing. I love that quote. He's trying to misogyny his way out of misogyny. Right? But, you know, blaming it on being a Republican, like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But dude, I feel like, you know, you're not doing a service for manhood when you can't have an honest discussion about the misogyny and the sexism that we all grapple with.
So, but people like Jill read that and was like, nope, he wasn't joking. Nope, he thinks women's genes are wrong. He's the worst misogynist in the world. Did you read it? Did you read it? No, you didn't, right? Or you did and you purposely lied about it. And I want to break it down real quick. I'm tired of misogyny on the left, but there wasn't any. I'm tired of being told that I'm imagining misogyny, but in this case, you were literally imagining misogyny.
Dude, I'm tired of misogyny on the left, but there wasn't any. All right, let's just look at the blog. Let's compare it. Here we go. Okay, this is his thing here. It says, this is Cenk. I live in Miami now. There are an incredible amount of outrageously hot women here. In fact, there are more beautiful women here than any other city I have ever seen. The only problem is that after seeing these girls every day and not being able to have sex with them after a while, you begin to lose your mind. Well, that's interesting. Like, yeah, I can't be around hot women without needing to have sex with them, and then if they refuse me, I'm incapable of operating. Dude, what the fuck is that, bro? Like, homie. Yeah, so when you're working with the woman and she's attractive, you're just fucking juiced up thinking about sex the whole time. I'm sure that's real comfortable for your female coworkers. Don't get me wrong, I hook up a decent amount. Dude, we know he's not hooking up a decent amount. By hooking up, what does he mean? Plugging in his phone, right? Plugging in his laptop? Oh shit, defined as at least make out with a new girl every 6 to 8 weeks and have sex with a steady girl at least once a week. Like, what is he like tracking these stats, dude? But it seems like there is a sea of tits here and I am drinking in tiny droplets. I want to dive into the whole goddamn ocean. Dude, this is like, bro, this shit is dripping with misogyny. Where, right? Yeah, he is like so like off the wall, objectifying women that, right? This whole thing is like, I objectify women and they don't gratify me enough. And frankly, it's hard for me to concentrate. I mean, this is steeped in like 1950s, you know, like the characters in the show Mad Men. Literally, this is Don Draper kind of shit right here, dude. Right? Don Draper minus the advertising. The waves keep pounding you every night on South Beach, and the more luscious the surf and the more dry you are, the more insanity sets in. On Friday night, I talked to approximately 11 different women. Dude, he's like counting this shit. At a new club on the beach, most of them were unfairly beautiful, and I must admit I was fairly charming. Some even indicated I was cute, but alas, no results. The madness grows. There are two problems which I will get into greater detail on later, but for now, suffice it to say there are one, too many semi-professional whores in Miami. Yikes. Two is the genes that God gave women. Dude, semi-professional whores. Yeah, dude, the term whore is not a good term unless you're using it to describe yourself. I mean, you know, dude, what is this diary, bro? In other places in the U.S., by the way, he was like 30 when he wrote this. He was in his 30s, guys. I think he was in his 30s. In other places in the U.S., when I tell girls that I quit law to become a talk show host, they get excited because it indicates I might actually be an interesting person that has done something unusual and hence cool thing with his life. In Miami, it is seen as a clear decrease in earning potential and is heavily frowned upon. I have never seen girls get so turned off. So when I tell a Miami girl I no longer practice law, this reaction is sickening in its depraved, whorish blatantness. Yikes. Dude, he's literally one of those guys where he's trying to pick up a girl, and if she says no, he screams, whore, at her. Like, dude, that's what this blog is. This blog is one of those guys. This happened again on Friday night when I told what seemed to a sweet 5th grade teacher my story. She lost all interest, quickly lost her sweet smile, literally switched seats so as not to sit next to the man that threw away such good future earning potential. Or maybe she just knew you were trying to get in her pants and she found you creepy, right? Obviously, the genes of women are flawed. They're poorly designed creatures who do not want to have sex nearly as often as needed for the human race to get along peaceably and fruitfully. There's some hard and fast rules of dating. Women, ignore these at your peril. Rule 1, there must be some serious making out by the 3rd date. If I haven't felt your tits by then, things are not about to last much longer. In fact, if you don't get back on track by the 4th date, you're done. Dude. Jesus, dude. Rule 2, there must be orgasm by the 5th date. No ifs, ands, or buts. If I haven't unloaded by this time, things are intolerably slow. There will be no 6th date. Dude, there will be no 6th date to give you a second chance. If you haven't delivered by now, you're done. Okay? There must be sex by the 2nd month of dating. There are a lot of allowable exceptions to this rule, but they all involve orgasms. Dude, he's basically saying he needs like a guaranteed handy. Like, dude, Cenk, you know you can just fucking jerk off, right? Like, is this guy not aware that he can fucking pleasure himself? Like, bro, what are you doing here, man? You know what I'm saying? All right, so here's the deal. Is first off, I don't see that he's joking. And it looks like there's more. I'm not going to read the other one. I've seen enough. But I'm not surprised that a man wrote that shit. That I am not surprised. And for sure, for him to put that out on the internet, there's a bravado. For him to put that out on the internet, there's a bravado there that, like, that is not just something he's toying with. That is like something he really genuinely believes. He had that thing like really thought out. Okay, that is like some in-depth misogyny analysis. But here's what I find surprising. What I find surprising is that after like writing those blogs and then having a shelf life and going back and looking at those blogs 20 years later, he's like, there is no misogyny on the left. There's no way I can look at that shit and not acknowledge it. But for him to like have those blogs and to like the fact that he's just dismissed this thing as like it shouldn't have been anything to give them pause for alarm is what tells you everything about Cenk Uygur's mindset. If you're not able to look at your own past behavior, that's a significant sign. That is a significant sign. It's like a weird denial. He doesn't want to acknowledge his own sexism and misogyny. He is like upset that anyone is pointing it out. To him, the crime is it having been pointed out and an accusation made. That's the crime.
There's the line about that they all hyped up, by the way, picked up by the alt-right, and then Hillary Clinton supporters were like, oh, the alt-right came up with this. We love it, right? And so, and what was it? I said the genes of women are poorly designed or something along those lines because they don't want to have sex with us enough. I was joking. If you read the piece, you see that I was kidding around about how I couldn't get laid on South Beach, which is hilarious, okay? So, but people like Jill read that and was like, nope, he wasn't joking. Nope, he thinks women's genes are wrong. He's the worst misogynist in the world. Did you read it? Did you read it? No, you didn't, right? Or you did and you purposely lied about it. And I want to break it down real quick. I'm tired of misogyny on the left, but there wasn't any. I'm tired of being told that I'm imagining misogyny, but in this case, you were literally imagining misogyny because I was making fun of myself and you chose to lie about that. And then she says, I'm tired of being told progressive values mean we have to overlook misogyny on the left. But no one said to overlook misogyny on the left. Literally no one said that. You manufactured the misogyny and then pretended people said a straw man of overlook misogyny. Misogyny is no big deal. Literally no one said that. And then finally, I'm tired of gender equality apparently not being a progressive value. Again, literally no one said that.
Dude, did you see that, bro? He like is so rattled. You know what's funny about this? That line about the women's genes is like one of the least objectionable things in the things we read. Those fucking incel blogs were just gutter swamps of misogyny and sexism and objectification and like women have no value, right? No value whatsoever. Other than his fucking sexual gratification, a fucking guy who couldn't get laid in a fucking brothel, mind you, somebody who's so objectionable that even the women he talks to, dude, they weren't running from you because you weren't a lawyer. They're running from you because you're a fucking pig, bro. Dude, it was so objectionable. But he's like, oh my God, she wrote that fucking paragraph. And he's just, he went line by line. There's no misogyny. Oh, Jenkies. Oh, shit. Be nice to me. Jenky needs to get his wick dipped. Please touch my pee-pee. Nobody likes me on South Beach. Dude. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Dude. He is rattled.
Bernie didn't say it, Nina Turner, Ro Khanna, myself. No one said, oh, you know what? Gender equality is not a progressive value. You made that up. It was a giant fiction, and why? Because you wanted your side to win, so you started an internal battle to divide the Democratic Party. It was supernova toxic, right? And so you weren't alone. She wasn't alone. There was a giant fight, you remember, and a lot of people did things wrong on both sides, but if I'm being honest, way more on the Hillary side. Tons of smears aided and abetted by mainstream media, MSNBC and all.
Well, if he's being honest, there's the MSNBC, dude. We knew it was coming, bro.
Those smears put out there like a factory, right? And what did they do? They forget me, I'm not important. Bernie, sexist, misogynist. Oh, why can't he get black votes? Why can't he get black votes? Implying that he's racist.
Right.
When in reality, the mainstream media did a giant media campaign about, the Clintons are, remember, Bill Clinton was the first black president. Bill Clinton was the first black president. Hillary Clinton loves black people. She's got hot sauce in her purse. It was all giant propaganda effort. So now you've got to, look.
Dude, this is the guy who said the N-word like fluently, right? Dude, Jenky, dude, the N-word guy, bro, he is like, dude, this guy, it's like dude, this is one day ago, guys. We are literally watching like a slow motion fucking car crash, dude. We are. This is a slow motion car wreck. In real time, dude.
I'm gonna let all of that go. This is the last time I'll ever talk about it. As long as you just acknowledge it and go, my bad, you're right. I got carried away, etc. Like I say on how much I attacked personally the right wing and other people that we needed to win over to our side.
Dude, I don't believe for 1 second that this is the last time we're ever gonna hear about this, dude. Oh my God, dude. Oh shit. That is fucking hilarious. Oh my God, dude.
But I don't know if she's got that in her, if this is just a BS Jake Tapper moment where like, oh, I've caught the culprit, it's someone else.
Well, we're gonna wait and see, right? But if she has actually had this realization and she's going to put this into practice, I give her a lot of credit. And when you come out and say, you know what, we did things incorrectly, I wanna do things differently moving forward, you get a lot of hate, you get a lot of backlash for it. I know that better than anyone. I'll also agree with her that misogyny is in fact a problem on the left. I've seen it for myself, but.
Dude, the fact that she doesn't acknowledge it in Cenk though is like, that's wild.
Cenk ain't it. I've worked with him for now 19 years. He has given me a voice. He's always uplifted me. He's always supported me.
Dude, people that are misogynists, it doesn't mean they don't uplift certain women, okay? They do. They will uplift some women, some specific women. That's like, dude, they're doing the whole like this is so primitive. The shit they do here, right? Their whole ideology behind Anna and Cenk is like, oh, I have a black friend, so therefore it's not possible for me to be racist. My best friend is black. Like, dude, it's so primitive.
He's always uplifted me, he's always supported me, and I've never seen an example of him literally being misogynistic. So bringing up old blogs from 25 years ago where he's making jokes to say he's a misogynist was pretty low. But nonetheless, I give her props for coming out and putting this out into the world, and I hope that she actually follows through with it.
So here's the thing that I don't get. Why did they dig this up? Doesn't it feel like they dug up Cenk's dead body? Like it was like they dug up his smoldering body to relitigate this thing. Like, I'm super confused. They're talking about the purity politics, but what I'm super confused about is why they're litigating this now. Dude, they just literally dug up Cenk's dead body. They dug up his smoldering misogynist corpse and they pulled it out into the middle of the party and like poured some gasoline on it and a few matches all to like, oh, she's coming around, we're right. But like, what are they doing? So they read this article and it got them both like super jacked up because she wrote this article after, in their eyes, she destroyed Cenk's Bernie movement. Maybe he's a little butthurt. He's like, Bernie abandoned him. He doesn't get to go to the rallies. He got super triggered because she wrote this article and she's like, but no, you did that. You did that to me. Oh, you did that to me, Jill. Oh, you ruined me with Bernie. Now I can't go see his rally. But the funny thing is he got so rattled by this. He got so jacked out by this thing that he literally, like, I'm going to go make a video about his blogs tonight. Like, what is he doing, bro? Dude, what a tactical error. Like, bro, it's like a nonstop grievance that they can't let go of. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.